Hi folks, I'm Kaylee Hamill with Braveheart Beasts, and I'm here to bring you another tip for Tip Tuesday. This week I'm here with Rascal. He's a 1-year-old Nakota gelding, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to make your horse more responsive. So we know horses come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors, and personalities, and what that means is a lot of us out there have horses who are pretty unresponsive, whether it's under saddle if we're constantly having to nag them with our leg to go forward or stay soft in a turn, or even on the ground where it feels like they might ignore us better than they actually listen to us. The key to changing this lies in a sequence that I use in training, and so that sequence is what I call ask, request, demand. So what this sequence uses with our horses is the fact that they're associative learners, and basically what that means in simple terms is that if A means B and B means C, if we repeat that sequence consistently, eventually our horses will learn that A means C. And so how do we use this in training? What we do in training is we always start with our ask, right? And if our ask is followed up with a request, which is followed up with a demand, eventually when we ask with the lightest amount of pressure possible, our horses will anticipate us following that up with a request and a demand, and will respond to that light amount of pressure to avoid feeling the increased pressure down the line. And so we can use this on the ground, we can use this under saddle to always start out and give our horses that chance to be sensitive, right? We always have to give them the opportunity to do the right thing and then follow it up with the pressure we need to get them to actually do the thing we're looking for. So in that sequence, ask is basically what we want our finished cue to be. So the lightest amount of pressure we can possibly use. And chances are when we start this, our horses aren't going to respond to it. That's fine. So our request follows up our ask. It's basically asking our horses to draw their attention to the thing that we're asking them to do. And our demand, which follows our request, is as little as possible, but as much pressure as necessary to get our horses to actually respond to what we're asking them to do. So today, I'm just going to work a little bit on the ground with Rascal. I'm going to demonstrate pretty much the finished product, or what's close to the finished product, of using this ask, request, demand to get him to just back up and yield his hindquarters for me, pretty basic groundwork exercises. And I'll talk you through a little bit about what I'm looking for and what I would do or might have to do if he doesn't respond to that ask. So I'm just going to lead him off here. So most of the time my ask will start just by a change in body language or a change in my energy, basically how I hold myself. So if he comes up with me here, so we're going to start with the backup. My ask is going to be me just moving my body into his space. If he doesn't back up off of my ask, my request is just going to be swinging my lead rope in front of him, basically a visual call to attention. And if he still doesn't start to engage with me, my demand is going to be touching his chest with my lead rope with as much pressure as I need to get him to start to move back out of my space. So here I'm just going to come in towards him. And so we've practiced this quite a bit. And so we can see he's pretty tuned in. He's ready to respond to that ask. But once again, if I introduce that ask and he didn't respond to it, I would follow up with that request and that demand pretty quickly. And so same thing, yielding the haunches. I'm going to start with my body language. I'm just going to step into his haunches here. And so there we can see he didn't really respond that quickly. I'm just going to use a visual reminder. Right, here we go. And as soon as he responds, whether it's an ask, request, or demand, I'm just going to disappear. I'm going to give him that release from pressure so that he knows he did the right thing. So, like I said, this is really useful on the ground. Say, you know, you have a horse under saddle who won't go forward. Just as I demonstrated with the rope, if you're on their back, always start with the lightest squeeze you can with your legs and then follow it up with a bump, a kick if you need it, until they respond. As soon as they respond, disappear, let them know they did the right thing, and repeat and repeat and repeat, and eventually you'll have a sensitive horse. All right, folks, that's it for this week. I hope you found that helpful, and I will see you next Tuesday.